This tribe used to eat the brains of their relatives just a few decades ago, leading to the spread of a deadly neurological disease. However, some of them miraculously survived the disease. Historians and anthropologists have long tried to explore the history and science behind cannibalism, seeking to understand its causes, occurrence, and impact on societies. In many cultures, there's a universal taboo against cannibalism because it's naturally risky. Eating human flesh can make you sick. Eating the brain of another human being can result in kuru, a brain disease similar to mad cow disease. This is because human brains contain prions that can transmit the disease. Symptoms typically start with trembling and ultimately lead to death. Surprisingly, this isn't universally true. Among anthropologists, the four people in Papua New Guinea are recognized for their practice of cannibalism. Until the late 1950s, they consumed the bodies of their relatives as a ritual to purify their spirits. Many four individuals contracted kuru and perished, the term kuru originating from the four word for shaking. However, not all gave in to the disease. Over the past 2 centuries, some 4 individuals have developed a genetic mutation that shields them from the prions responsible for transmitting kuru. The 4 people were adapting to cannibalism, potentially through natural selection, which could have decreased their vulnerability to disease. Scientists have been investigating this phenomenon, but in recent decades, cannibalism has decreased among the 4 due to shifting social norms and legal regulations. If this trend persists, kuru could eventually be wiped out. Historians face challenges in answering basic questions about cannibalism, such as how many groups practiced it, when it began, and how widespread it was. These questions are difficult because the term cannibalism has been used across time to describe various behaviors. This variability is why many contemporary anthropologists and scientists prefer the term anthropophagy over cannibalism. Cannibalism has been observed in some cultures as a ritualistic tradition, while on other occasions people turn to cannibalism out of desperation during times of famine. Additionally, the term cannibalism has been historically applied to various behaviors and individuals considered savage. It can be used to describe, reflect specific circumstances, or even be used indirectly as an ethnic insult. For example, the term cannibalism originates from the name given by the Spanish to the Caribs or Caníbales. The Spanish accused this Caribbean tribe of ritually consuming their enemies, but contemporary scholars doubt the truth of these claims. Given that the Caribs were resisting colonization by various European powers, many historians now view the cannibalism rumors as a propaganda tool employed by the Spanish to instill fear. On the contrary, there is evidence suggesting that the Caribs may have used body parts as trophies. This practice could have been used to intimidate the enemy or as an act of war. Some may associate cannibalism with distant history or underdeveloped nations, but it was also present in early American history. In 2013, archaeologists uncovered evidence of cannibalism in colonial Jamestown, highlighting the extreme desperation of early colonial life. Specifically, they found markings on the skull of a 14-year-old girl, suggesting she had been consumed by settlers during the harsh winter of 1609. It provided further confirmation of something historians had long heard stories about. Throughout European history, there have been numerous disturbing instances of cannibalism. However, one particularly unusual example is the occasional belief in cannibalism as a remedy. For instance, in Germany from the 1600s to the 1800s, executioners sometimes engaged in an unusual side business to boost their earnings, selling leftover body parts as medicine. Human fat was marketed as a remedy for ailments like broken bones, sprains, and arthritis. Typically, this human fat was applied as a balm rather than consumed. Nevertheless, apothecaries commonly carried supplies of fat, flesh, and bone, with instances recorded of human skulls being ground into powder and combined with liquid to treat epilepsy. While the idea may seem strange, it's worth noting that consuming placenta has become a modern health trend. But generally, the consensus on cannibalism is straightforward. It's best avoided. Many people don't link cannibalism to the Soviet Union. However, during the 1933 famine imposed by Stalin in Ukraine, cannibalism became shockingly common. The government even formed a squad to combat cannibalism, leading to numerous accusations of people consuming their neighbors or family members. This gruesome event highlights the hardships of the early Soviet era. The fact that many may be unaware of it highlights another aspect of cannibalism. It's a topic people prefer to avoid, as it's often associated with disgust that contributes to widespread ignorance about it. Let me know what you want to see next.